Sam Smith has been in the news recently. He did that performance on stage with Kim Petras, the youngest trans person to ever get reassignment surgery. And I saw this tweet from Sour Patch Lids. Of course, y'all know Lydia. She was our live producer over at Timcast IRL for a while, up until past October. But she tweeted out leftism before and after. Leftism not even once. And it is truly a brilliant tweet. So give a shout out to Lydia at Sour Patch Lids. It's a picture on the left of a thin Sam Smith, the singer in question. And on the right is what I can only assume would be a deeply offensive image to many people. But so long as this is American pop culture and British pop culture, and it is widely celebrated, I don't see how YouTube could get mad about it. But YouTube, if you are mad about it, this is what's in all the tabloids and all the news. So here you have a obese Sam Smith in bondage rapping, squeezing his fat rolls and making them protrude. Yeah. All right. This does break my heart. You know why? I got some pictures of Sam Smith. Now, look, he used to be a chunky dude and he lost weight. I guess this is the modern culture war. The right is what is telling you to be a better person. We want you to be happy, successful, and healthy. The left is telling you that you can be morbidly obese, unhealthy, and it's okay. But it's not okay. It's not okay for a lot of reasons. You know, let me tell you, my friends, I like the idea of universal health care. You get sick, you go to the doctor, and then boom, takes care of you, and you don't got to worry about going into debt or going bankrupt. The problem is this. So Sam Smith takes a lot of heat for this music video he does where he's got his fat rolls being squeezed by, I guess, some kind of, what would you call that? I don't know if you'd call it a girdle, but is it a girdle? And then he's got pasties on. Thank you for wearing the pasties, Sam Smith, because YouTube probably would not take kindly to you showing off your nipples. And I think that one's actually true or whatever, but I don't know. What this comes down to is what the left preaches, and it's destructive. The left preaches for you to stop taking care of yourself. The left preaches that you shouldn't be responsible for yourself. And the end result is, how are we supposed to actually have a functioning society with universal health care, things like that, if no one agrees on the standards by which we must live? I believe in freedom. And that's why I'm not going to rag on Sam Smith, and I'm also not going to rag on you if you like it. Hey, man, if that's your jam and you like this thing, hey, man, do your thing. But I tell you this, don't come to me and tell me that you want all of us to pay for universal health care when you encourage lewd and lascivious, amoral, unethical, or unhealthy lifestyles. And that's what I'm talking about. Here's what I want to say. Leftism, not even once. That's the point that Sour Patch Lids made that I think needs to be driven home. So what is the right? Are you a conservative or right-winger if you say something like, hey, you'll be happier and better off if you lose weight? I lost weight. I mean, my weight kind of goes up and down a little bit. I was like, I don't know, 7 years ago, I weighed 160. Then I went to 170. Then I remember I went to South by Southwest. I can't remember what year it was. I think maybe it was like 2016 or 17. And I was like 185. And I was like, ugh. And then a year and a half ago, around October, I was 200. I was just about 200 pounds. And I don't really care all that much. But you know what? I think what defines the cultural space we exist in is taking responsibility and doing the right thing. I dropped 30 pounds. I'm down to 170. In fact, even a couple weeks ago, I was at like 167. And then I went to like 173 because it's just like, your weight fluctuates or whatever. I'm not going to set like a hard standard, but been exercising, been eating better. And that's far right. And that's right wing. And you know what? I'll go to the hospital less. I'll genuinely look better to many people. I've had people come on the show and they're like, wow, you did lose a lot of weight, Tim. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be responsible for myself. And that's it. Cut out the garbage. You know what I started to think about? You see stuff like this. I started to think about, is it really worth it? We get dinner on Sunday sometimes with the crew, and we have like a business dinner where we discuss, okay, what are we doing? What's our plans? How are things going? Here's the news. Gets everybody on the same page. That's why I'm not a big fan of remote work, and that's why I don't like remote guests. We need to be sitting in front of each other, talking to each other, so this business can operate in the same space, because everybody's doing something slightly different. But I'm eating dinner and I'm thinking like, look, it's no big deal if you have a cheesecake. You know what I mean? The problem is when you have 3 cheesecakes every day and you're eating big bowls of rice and you're putting sugar on everything, dessert is totally fine. And so I'd be like, technically it's a cheat day because I was doing keto for a while. And then I thought about it recently because, I've been basically stable at about 170. And like, I don't know, I might be as thin as I could probably safely be. Maybe I could lose another pound or two or something. I don't know. But I've mostly cut out the sugars. But I thought about it. What pleasure is derived from having that dessert? Why do I eat it? None. That was what I realized. You take a bite of it, it tastes so good. Man, New York cheesecake with chocolate caramel drizzle, whipped cream, little ice cream on the side or something like that. And that bite tastes really good, and then you swallow it. And then I thought about, now how am I going to feel in 10 minutes? Like garbage. I'm going to be tired, groggy, sugar coma. How am I going to feel tomorrow? Like garbage. So what? That's the stupidest thing you could probably do. One bite, 10 seconds, and be like, wow, that's really delicious. And then it's gone. And then you feel like crap for the next few days. Man, that's a terrible investment. But the left tells you otherwise. They want you to look at someone who's let themselves go, no longer wants to assume responsibility for their bodies, and they want you to pay for it. Think about it this way. You look at the, what was it called? The Millennial Challenge? Is that what it was? People were calling it that? When all the young high school kids in the 60s are doing that workout and they're all fit and everything like that. We had school calisthenics. You start the day by doing exercises because you got to exercise. We lost that. You want to talk about the advent of national health services and things like that? Well, yeah, if everybody agrees that they're going to eat right, live right, be healthy, then it's no big deal if everybody's pitching in for healthcare because ain't nobody need to use it. But hey, leftism, not even once. Because not only are they telling you that someone else should pay for your lifestyle that's causing you harm, but they're encouraging people. Well, I should put it this way. Not only are they encouraging you to hurt yourself, they're also encouraging everyone else to pay for your lifestyle. I'll put it that way. Now, we can't function that way. That system would implode. And so, man, isn't it sad to see this? Sam Smith was heavy. He loses weight. That's positive. When Adele lost weight, they ragged on her. Fat phobia, they called it. Fat phobia? You got something to actually be scared of. You know what? Let me tell you guys a story. Let me tell you this. You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of venomous insects. I'm not irrationally scared of them. I'm legitimately scared of them because they will kill me. So when I see a hornet or a wasp, I GTFO. I don't run screaming. I don't cry. I just say, I'm going to move away from that wasp. Don't want to engage with it. Don't want to swat at it. Don't want to risk, getting put in the hospital or something like that. That's a rational fear. A phobia is when like somebody sees a stapler on a table and they're crying and screaming, get it away from me. You've seen those videos where they'll bring like a rabbit out and the person will go, ah, and start screaming. Like, bro, that's irrational. Home bunny is not going to do anything to you. Little bunny bro will sit in your lap and your worst case scenario is he poops. You'll be fine. That's a phobia. A legitimate fear is when you're like, hey, if I get stung by that, I will die. Imagine someone being like, scared of a rattlesnake? What are you, snake-ophobic? No, I have a legitimate fear of a rattlesnake killing me. Fortunately, we've invented anti-venoms and things like that, but I digress. That's the issue with the fat phobia stuff. It's not phobia to want to avoid unhealthy lifestyles that will kill you. Now, what about other people? They say, yeah, but you're talking about other people, Tim. Yeah, look, man. We don't want people to live lifestyles that kill themselves. If the dude was walking around with a jar full of wasps threatening to open it, we'd be like, yo. If the dude was threatening, but probably not a good example because you're threatening other people. But if he was going to put the wasps in his mouth, we'd be like, hey, stop doing that. Hey, man, you're wasp phobic. I want to put the wasp in my mouth. I'm allowed to. Now, look, I'm a fairly libertarian guy. If you want to put bees or wasps in your mouth, okay, I may try and stop you from doing it. It's a little bit more extreme than just like eating too many ho-hos or whatever. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about trying to stop people from self-harming. And there's the long-term self-harm and the short-term self-harm. And the left encourages self-harm. They're not only encouraging people to live unhealthy lifestyles and then saying we all got to pay for it, they're actively encouraging medical assistance in dying. So I will stress that point one more time. Leftism, not even once. But I'm not talking about economic leftism. I'm talking about woke cultural leftism. But you know what? That's what it is. Why? This was properly described in a meme on the internet. Oh, we love the internet. It said, If you are on the left and you deviate from leftist economic doctrine, no one cares. But if you deviate from woke dogma, they'll call you right-wing because that is what the left really is. Jimmy Dore, for example, he can come out and say universal health care, socialist policy, tax the rich, and we'll all go like, well, those are interesting points, I would argue. And then he comes out and says the woke people are insane and say, you're right-wing. I'm like, dude's borderline socialist, but he's honest, and we're cool with that. Leftism. Not even once. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.